Colleagues, I'm honored today, at this great hour, to launch an inquiry on the importance of the Canadian flag and consider what the Canadian flag means to us as Canadians. The timing of this debate is scheduled with the Flag Day in mind, which comes up in 10 days on February the 15th. So I'm delighted to invite colleagues to present your thoughts on this matter today and in the days ahead. Coincidentally, this inquiry comes at a time when the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics are underway, with the formal opening ceremony being tomorrow. Also in the weeks ahead, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen will be part of NASA's Artemis II mission to land on the moon, and he will be the first Canadian to walk on the moon. These indeed are flag-waving occasions. So what is Flag Day? This day marks the 61st anniversary of the red and white maple leaf flag, which became our official flag on February the 15th, 1965, when the first flag was raised on the Peace Tower of the center block. Interestingly, this followed a Donnybrook of a political debate initiated by then Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson with the proposal of a new flag, and opposed vociferously by then Progressive Conservative leader and former Prime Minister John Diefenbaker. It is because a flag means so much to citizens that changing it is a deeply passionate matter. What is notable about that whole initiative is that at the end of the debate, Diefenbaker went with Pearson to London, to Buckingham Palace in December 1964, when Queen Elizabeth gave royal assent to the new flag. It was a time when opposing parties could have passionate and even raucous debates, but at the end of the day, they accepted the outcome and supported it. Donc, nous abhorrons le...
We fly the flag for various reasons, but at this time, when our sovereignty is under threat, it is our way of showing our pride, whether we wave the flag vigorously or simply wear it quietly on our lapel. It is our way of saying, I am Canadian, I believe in this country, and I am proud to be Canadian, and I am proud to call Canada my home.
As parliamentarians have the great privilege to represent Canada in international conferences and summits. The Canadian flag and our Canadian citizenship is a matter of considerable pride. Regardless of who we are meeting, I always find it great fun to hand out maple leaf flag pins. In a crowd of parliamentarians from any country, people will jostle to get one. And at times, giving someone a Canadian flag pin is a great show of friendship, a great conversation starter, a conversation which is always friendly and positive. As an aside, let me add that one of the fun things about such conversations is that our counterparts from anywhere in the world will be anxious to tell us that they have relatives in Canada. This, too, is what our flag stands for. But colleagues, I would suggest to you that in the geopolitics of the globe these days, as the globe turns nasty, aggressive, and uncaring of each other, our pride in our flag is of greater importance than ever before. Our flag says a lot. We are not a superpower intent on expanding territories. We are not interested in unnecessary aggression towards others. We are not interfering in the affairs of other countries so as to destabilize them or expand our powers in their nations surreptitiously or to damage their economy. We do not invade other nations. We are Canadian, which means we believe in the right of all countries to exist. We believe in healthy multilateralism, in helping international development, and in the international rule of law, of fair trade and respect. And yet we can say clearly when we disagree or need to press other countries to be fair and just. That is what wearing the Canadian flag means. It is a statement of many things, of who we are, what we stand for, and why our friendship is important, whether with other people or other nations. It also means that we are a country that is introspective, that we look inwards at our positive and negatives and constantly try to improve our country for all Canadians, sometimes with success, sometimes not so much. Colleagues, you will know that to mark Flag Day last year, in 2025, through the Arts and Heritage Working Group of the Senate and with the support of Speaker Gagne, we installed the wall of provincial and territorial flags in the foyer of this building. It is the first time that we have a permanent installation of the actual full-size flags of all the provinces and territories in the Senate of Canada, be it in this building or back in the days in the Senate block. These flags build on the emblems that exist in this chamber and the original doors of the Senate chamber. These flags remind us that our work in the Senate is relevant to all provinces and territories. Colleagues, let me quote from some of our former prime ministers. 61 years ago, on February the 15th, 1965, Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson, the visionary behind this flag, inaugurated the great symbol. Let me paraphrase what he said. May the land which this new flag flies remain united in freedom and justice, a land of decent, God-fearing people, fair and generous in all its dealings, sensitive, tolerant, and compassionate towards all, industrious, energetic, resolute, wise and just in the giving of security and opportunity equally to all cultures, and strong in its adherence to these moral principles which are the only sure guide to greatness. Colleagues, 2 days ago, at the ceremony of the unveiling of Prime Minister Stephen Harper's official portrait on Parliament Hill, an event I was honored to attend, as many of you were, Mr. Harper said the following: "We must preserve Canada, this country handed down to us by Providence, preserved for us by our ancestors, held in trust for us by our descendants. We must make any sacrifice to preserve the independence and unity of this blessed land." In closing, let me paraphrase from a letter issued a year ago by 5 former prime ministers of the time, marking the 60th anniversary of the flag. The 5 former prime ministers were Prime Ministers Joe Clark, Kim Campbell, Jean Chrétien, Paul Martin, and Stephen Harper. They said, "In recent weeks, we've witnessed a surge of Canadian pride and patriotism. In the face of threats and insults, Canadians have come together to express their love for our country and their determination to defend Canada's values and our independence. En tant qu'ancien Premier Ministre du Canada,"
as former Prime Ministers of Canada, we applaud this national spirit. We call on our fellow Canadians to show the flag as never before. On Flag Day, let's fly our flag with pride. Let's show the world that we are proud of our history and proud of our country.
5 of us come from different parties. We've had our share of battles in the past, but we all agree on one thing. Canada, the true north, strong and free, the best country in the world, is worth celebrating and worth fighting for. Their sentiments were as relevant last year as they are today. Thank you.